Back with mega movie numbers for you all. This is where we talk the hottest physical media being sold right now across the different disc formats. First, we start with looking at the top 20 selling 4Ks, and then we get into the market share for the different disc formats. And as a special bonus today, we got a new added segment here where we're actually going to look at the quantities of physical media discs being sold in comparison the last year. So getting into these physical media by the numbers. But before we do that, if you love collecting physical media just like me, and want to keep physical media alive, then go ahead and smash that subscribe and like button, and go ahead and leave in the comments below what do you like most about the numbers this week, and what prediction do you have for the number one selling 4K disc before we get there. So let's get right into this list. So first up, we gotta have The Mist still is on here. Best Design Lionsgate 4K Steelbook of the Year. It's just so cool. So many great additions in there. And next up, we got The Blob. This is the 1988 version. And I heard some fun, cheesy things about this one. I might want to check it out in the future. And then we got Talk to Me, of course, a very popular A24 title, just great for spooky season. And then we got The Way We Were, which apparently is a romance movie that's pretty good. And then we got a new one here with Paramount's first volume of their Scares collection, which looks to be like some really good titles in here, but I already own most of them anyway. So didn't need to get it, but if you don't have the titles, not a bad little price. I think it's around the $100 or so range. Next up, we got John Wick Chapter 4, because John Wick Chapter 4 is never going to leave this list. It's just the best 4K disc of the year. Next up, we got the Toxic Avenger Collection, another new box set here, which I am interested in it, but I heard Manage Expectations. It's way different than any other superhero title you've seen before. Next up, we got Army of Darkness, which went on a great sale price, and this is just my favorite out of the classic Evil Dead movies. Next up, we got The Exorcist that got heavily discounted. I still need to see this classic myself. Next up, we got a new one here with The Muppets Take Manhattan. I've always been a Muppet fan, so maybe in the future if it gets discounted by like a Black Friday. Next up, we got Red Dragon from Kino Lorber, which I thought this was a pretty cool movie. It's part of the Hannibal Lecter series, so I need to go back and give it a rewatch. Next up, we got Cujo from Kino Lorber. Just watched this one. Wasn't really the film for me, but I got it for like 12 bucks in a super like flash kind of discount, so I'll take that all day. Next up, we got Prey on 4K. Still need to add this one to the collection because I loved the movie when I streamed it. Next up, we got Evil Dead Rise on 4K, which I still need to pick this one up, but I'm still hoping for another discount by Black Friday. Next up, we got Godzilla 1998. This came out for a really cool looking steelbook, and I don't have this one in the collection. Maybe in the future I'll check it out. Next up, we got Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse in our top 5, because this is just one of the best films of the year. Gorgeous animation. Next up, number 4, we got Transformers Rise of the Beast. Very popular title. It's a great action movie and one of my favorite Transformer movies overall. Next up, we got a new title with The Others from Criterion. I'm going to pick it up now, getting into this November sale time for Criterion, and I've heard wonderful things about this one. Next up, we got Barbie in the second place spot. I didn't love Barbie myself, but a lot of people did. Very popular film, made a ton at the box office. Can see why it's selling so well. And then we got a new one here with Meg 2 The Trench. Don't know why this is selling so well. This is not the best movie here. It is just so like wacky and bonkers to an unbelievable level, but it's not that entertaining either. So it's a weird mixture of a movie. Can't really recommend that one. So those were the top 20 selling 4K Ultra HD discs of the past week. Now we're going to look at the market share breakdown for all the different disc formats, see if there's any surprises here. And wow, 4Ks did drop quite a bit, just hovering over the 10% mark, which isn't awful, but I really thought it was going to be over 15% from now on. I really thought people were getting into the more premium formats. Blu-rays at 30%, which is strong enough for Blu-rays, no complaints there. But DVDs, woo, getting close to that 60%. I thought DVDs were going to be at the 50% marker or under from now on, but this shows that DVDs are still king. They are not going anywhere. They're a very convenient option. They're still at Walmarts across the world, and so people just love getting DVDs and enjoying the movies. Who cares about the picture quality when it comes to that? So I totally get that mindset, but I really wish 4Ks were just doing a little bit better. But maybe it's because the titles that came out, there wasn't a ton of new, like, banger ones that you absolutely needed right away. Plus, Black Friday's around the corner, so some people are probably waiting for them to get discounts. I know that's what I'm doing. That's my strategy there. So maybe 4Ks will pick up towards the end of the month. So now getting into a new segment on Mega Movie Numbers, and this was inspired by a comment I saw on the last Mega Movie Numbers by AJ's Movie Place, saying that, hey Mike, instead of just looking at the percentage shifts, can we look at quantities being sold for discs? And I tried to go and research that and see what I could find. And the best thing I could find on Media Play News was total disc sales revenue. But I think it still gives us some great comparable numbers to really look at overall. Is physical media doing better this year in comparison to last year? So we look at it and we see that it's close to 1.3% being up for physical media sales across the board, which is great, meaning physical media is not dead, it's alive and well. Collectors are still buying this physical media, whether it's through e-commerce more now instead of in-store location, that's fine. Physical media is still selling. Also, we want to take a look that DVD revenue is actually down and Blu-ray revenue is up. So DVDs have dropped down to close to 10% and Blu-rays have gone up close to 16%. Well, what does this mean? Well, DVDs aren't generating as much revenue here. We know they're a very, very cheap option, which is why they are selling so well. So along with being convenient for a lot of people, they're just a super cheap option. So those numbers make sense to me. They're less valuable now this year than they were last year, at least in terms of price wise. Next up, the Blu-rays here, people are willing to spend more money on Blu-rays because it is more of a premium format to get that HD quality. So Blu-rays are bringing in a good amount of revenue in comparison to last year. But looking at it from a total perspective from this pie chart right here in the middle, we see that the revenue being generated overall across the board is 50-50 between DVDs and Blu-rays, just comparing those two formats. So they're both bringing in a healthy amount of revenue. So it's just great for both of these disc formats. At least that's what I could tell from these numbers. I don't think either of those formats are going anywhere anytime soon. But you guys let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this new segment added the Mega Movie Numbers? Should I keep going with this one? And also, what do you think of the top 20 selling 4K discs? Did you pick up any of them? And overall, what do you think of these numbers in these comparison charts? Let's have those fun movie collecting conversations down below. And if you enjoyed this physical media topic, go ahead and mega click another video right now. And thank you so much, my Mega membership supporters.